Hi, I'm Cassie, and welcome to Savvy Sense, where we share budgeting strategies, money saving tips, and tools to live the life that you want. Today, I'm going to be talking about a way that I budget and our family has been budgeting for years, and it's called budgeting by paycheck. And I know that at first, budgeting can feel overwhelming, but once you find a strategy that works well for you and your personality and your family, everything else falls into place. So this way works for us, so I wanted to share it. I can't wait. Let's get into it. So, who can benefit from this budget by paycheck method? Well, people who get paid more than one time per month can benefit from it because with each paycheck, you're allocating money to each category in your budget to ensure that everything in your budget gets paid for every month. Second type of person that can benefit from this type of budgeting style is people who are living paycheck to paycheck. Money might be tight for you, and so being able to see exactly where all of your money is going might be an easy way for you to make sure that all your bills are getting paid each month. Another type of person who can benefit from this type of budgeting style are people who are just starting out budgeting, because it's a pretty simple method for you to be able to look at all your money and all your categories and break everything down in a very simplified format. And the fourth type of person who can benefit from this type of budgeting style are people like myself who enjoy a zero-based budget. And what that means is basically you give every single cent in your budget that you bring in, you give that a home. And so it makes you be really in charge of your money. And I like that part of it. So that's why this method has worked well for us and our family. So today I'm going to be showing you this one method for budgeting by paycheck. There are certainly more methods out there on how to do this. This one has worked for us for years, and I'm confident that it will work for you too. So the first step is to gather all of your information and do your monthly budget. And if you need help with that, Emily did a video on that a couple videos back, and it is very complete and all-inclusive, so you will get a lot out of that. The next step is where you and I begin today, and that is taking your monthly budget and breaking it out into however many checks you get per month. So let's get started. Now we're going to get started with the second part of the budgeting by paycheck, which is breaking your paycheck down by paycheck. So what I've done is I've created two tabs for the month. I've created an April 2021 budget, and I've created an April 2021 paycheck breakdown. The reason we do this is for tracking purposes. So basically, in December, you can go back and say, what did my budget look like in April? And you have a clear snapshot of what your paycheck looked like and what your budget looked like for that month. All right, so the next step that we're going to do is, this is a blank sheet that I've used for years. I'm happy to share this with people if you are interested in it. So just let us know and I can put that on our drive for people to share. And it's great for spreadsheets, but you could also just print this out. You could put your categories in here, since budgets are fluid and they are very different for every person. We've tried to encapsulate a lot of the categories that we think the general population would have, but you can certainly change these for whatever categories you have and then print them out and use it as a worksheet for yourself. So the next step that we're going to do is, I put in here the total, and this is our total paycheck that we have up here under total income. And so now we've made a sum here and it'll calculate every single budget category that we have. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do an equal sign, and then I'm going to go to our April 2021 budget and grab our mortgage. And I am going to continue to do that for the rest of our categories. All right, now that we've done that, we can easily see that the total here, which is all this added together, equals our total paycheck. So that is a good check and balances to have. And it was nice because I didn't have to do any math off of the top of my head. The next thing that we're going to do over here is we are going to put our category here and how much we're using from our paychecks in this line. So how I break this down is check 1 paid on the 15th and then half of that amount. If you get paid differently, if you get paid maybe more money one check than the other, then this would look different for you. But like I said, budgets are very fluid and they're different for everyone. So you just have to make it work for you. The important thing to know here is that this number needs to equal down here. And as long as that happens, everything else will fall in line. Now you might get paid more than twice a month. And if that were the case, you could just take one of these, copy it and make another one, and then put whichever day you're getting paid and just make sure all the totals of that equal your total that you're getting paid for that month. For this and our purposes, we are going to assume that we get paid twice a month, once on the 15th, once on the 1st, once on the 15th, and it is broken into 2 equal paychecks. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to figure out which categories we are going to be paying for each paycheck. This will take a little bit of back and forth for your first time, but after that, it will get a lot easier. And so the first time you do it, it takes a little bit more work, but then once you figure it out, it's just a matter of maintenance. And like I said, budgets are fluid, and so what works this month, maybe you do it and you think, oh, I would prefer to have a little bit more grocery money on the first paycheck of the month. And so you would just sit and work with your budget and work the numbers out so that that would be something you'd be able to do. I actually like to come over here and just grab from this total right here, because then it does the math for you. And like I said, you're just looking to make sure this total adds up to up here. Now, for some of these categories, I like to divide them in half so that like restaurants, miscellaneous, entertainment. And the reason for that is that way you're not getting, for restaurants, let's say we're not getting $150 at the beginning of the month and then kind of running out of money in the middle of the month. It makes it a lot easier to just manage our money in smaller increments, and that way we're not tempted to overspend. Okay, wow, these are really close. So I actually don't have to do a lot of finagling with the numbers. There are a couple things we could do if we needed to move around our numbers. Say you went over here. what you could do is, and you hadn't even done your grocery yet, and you want to break your grocery into two different things. That way you're not going over. A lot of us tend to go over our grocery budget, and a way that we can do that is to break it up and make it into more manageable amounts of money. And so by breaking your grocery into two different paychecks instead of one, that will help ensure you're not going over as much. So what you could do is take some of your high cost items, like pet, charity, even emergency fund, and you can move them down here. So it just is going to be a matter of trial and error when you are doing things. But once you get this figured out and see now 3,000 equals 3,000, 3,000 equals 3,000. Now that everything equals each other, this is how it'll look for this month of April 2021. So when you get paid on the 1st, you will allocate this amount of money per paycheck for each of these categories. Thank you so much for joining me today as we went over this budget by paycheck method. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I would love to hear from you in the comments below if you like this method, what works for you, even what doesn't work for you, and maybe we can figure out something else and do a different video based on that, because I know that everyone's different and budgeting is different for everybody. Budgeting is fluid and it isn't a set in stone thing, so it definitely, different things work for different people. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like this video and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of our Savvy Sense community here, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.